I think the best thing for people in Hollywood that are entrenched in that world is to shut the fuck up. Because as soon as they start talking, people as soon as Robert De Niro starts talking, I'm like, Jesus, get that fucking microphone away from him so I can enjoy Taxi Driver.
Robert De Niro has gone so hard partisan over the past 8 years. He is like example number one of Trump derangement syndrome. He's one of those, I'm moving to Canada if he wins, and he's never going to leave the White House if he wins. We're going to have Trump forevermore. I mean, hello, I hate to break it to you because I realize you're advanced age too, Robert, but people die. So he will leave. One way or the other.
Dyro walked in thinking he was about to charm his way through a cute little panel chat. Maybe toss some hot takes and call it a night. But Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly came loaded, like it was verbal warfare, and they had scores to settle 1 minute. Dyro's grandstanding like he's at a charity gala, and the next he's getting flattened like laundry. In a 5-star hotel suite, what exactly did Rogan drop that had Megyn Kelly laughing? Like she inhaled tear gas, and why did Dyro suddenly look like he realized sarcasm doesn't come with an Uber Eats option?
It's
heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I don't want to hear. I love De Niro. I love those mob movies. It's like
I don't want to hear him that he's a moron. I don't want to hear him talking about politics and about Trump supporters, and just shut the fuck.
This wasn't a discussion. This was a full-blown public roasting. You've never seen a Hollywood legend get torched this hard without a director yelling cut if Dyro earned $1. Every time he slipped into one of his signature dramatic rants pretending he's auditioning for a role as America's conscience, he could have bought an island where Trump is a banned word, but no, he picked the stage life. Yelling at clouds, misreading teleprompters like they owed him money, and acting like every awards ceremony is a cage match. What he didn't plan for was this time the haymakers were flying back just when you thought you'd seen enough from an actor famous for fake mobsters to broadcasting bulldozers stepped into the ring, both bringing the heat with no intention of cooling off.
Like, you didn't think this through. Like, this is, and he's getting yelled at. He's doing an outside press conference. Like, Robert, you're 80 years old. Don't ruin this thing. You've had this life where you were a fucking raging bull. You know, you were in The Godfather. Like, stop doing this. Man. Don't do this.
I'm terrified to meet some of those people I looked up to now.
You should be.
I mean, like,
I've met a few of them, and it's actors in particular, because their whole business is pretend. Their whole business is pretend.
First came Joe Rogan, the audio assassin himself, sliding into the chaos. Like he got lost on his way to a UFC recap and decided to ruin someone's day with facts, no warning. No sugarcoating, just sledgehammer soundbites aimed right at the heart of Dyro's drama, while Dyro flailed like a budget Hamlet in front of a sea of bored influencers and glittering statues. Rogan chilled in his studio, tossing Molotov opinions like it was open mic night. He never mentioned names, but the shade had GPS coordinates. It was Dyro down to the last fake moral crusade. Like a pissed-off Italian shoemaker who binged too many awards shows, Rogan stitched together the caricature perfectly, a certain kind of star who thinks quoting mob movies means you're ready for NATO briefings. According to Rogan, these actors think a monologue about loyalty qualifies them for Senate hearings.
Shouting him down like, your movies suck. That's not true.
No, his movies are very good.
Suck. He's one of the greatest actors. I mean, he's the heir apparent to Brando, blah, blah, blah. But he's a loon.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to just say what he is. He has, basically, I describe this to people. You know what's happening now? Because people are aware about concussions and the problems with CTE. When you get hit and you get a dinger in football, they put you in the blue tent, in the sideline.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen to Democrats. They need to go in the blue tent for a little bit, kind of, get your eyes checked, and then come out and be rational again.
Yeah, cool off.
And De Niro needs to go in the blue tent. I mean, because it's not calming things down. We need to be
like, dude, you spent decades faking loyalty to fictional crime families, not drafting international policy that's like your Uber driver schooling NASA on black hole. Because he took the scenic route in Rogan, he crushed that fantasy like a pro fighter with a slow grin and a fast foot. He tore apart the narcissism, the bizarre illusion that screen time equals policy clout. These celebs don't want conversation. They want standing ovations. They don't care about facts. They want praise. To them, that dusty SAG card is a golden ticket to spout economic theories and worse strategies. Like they've been briefed by the Pentagon and Rogan, he delivered his dismantling like a stone sniper, calm, precise, hilarious, just casually kicking over the shrine of celebrity wisdom without breaking a sweat. He never had to say Dyro. But let's be honest, the whole set might as well have been titled The Decline of Veto.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
No, Kurt's convinced that Robert De Niro's on some kind of Epstein list or some kind of thing like that, and then he's afraid that if Trump does get power, he's going to expose him, and he is actually going to come at him.
Of course Kurt thinks that.
That's what Kurt thinks that.
Kurt thinks that about every fucking thing that happens in the world.
I think Robert De Niro's just got Trump derangement syndrome.
I think he's old, too. There's a thing about old men. And they want to yell at everybody.
And he's completely... Did you see when he went and gave that speech outside of the trial? That was bizarre.
Told him that was a good idea.
And just like that, the night shifted. It wasn't a Hollywood moment anymore. It was a masterclass in self-inflicted humiliation from an icon who swapped dignity for a vendetta. Just as the echo from Rogan's roasting died down and came Megyn Kelly, where Rogan smirked and cruised through the chaos like a man who's seen it all. Kelly brought the energy of someone who's had a folder marked receipts since 2016. And finally hit send. She didn't need to say Dyro either, but once. She started dropping lines like loudmouth thespians and mistaking the Oscars for a Senate session. It was basically a flashing billboard. She didn't joke around, no lazy setups, no witty tangents. Just pure analytical blade work delivered with the calm rage of someone who's watched one too many actors melt down in designer suits. She didn't even touch their acting resume. She just bulldozed through the logic vacuum. Kelly called out the absurd truth Hollywood elite's hijacking award. Shows like campaign rallies with zero public accountability, only applause and delusion, while others role-play. Kelly brought receipts, and the silence that followed felt louder than any monologue.
De Niro, who's got a severe case of the TDS, is in conference right now, as all of the muckety-mucks are, and he's very unhappy about what Trump is doing to try to keep filmmaking, American filmmaking, in America by slapping tariffs on foreign-made films so that he can basically try to force people to make them domestically again for the American audience that they're meant to serve. And here's what De Niro said on Tuesday.
America's Philistine president has had himself appointed head of one of our premier cultural institutions.
Because here's the truth, these stars want the cloud of thought leaders without putting in any of the work. Their standing ovations aren't for solutions, they're for showing up. With a recognizable name and a halfway decent Wikipedia, Kelly tore off the curtain and revealed the circus, millionaire actors guarded by private security, preaching justice from marble bathrooms and leather limos. Her message hit hard. Authenticity still matters. People are over being scolded by millionaires who spend half their careers in makeup chairs, being told they're profound. Strip away the glam, and you're left with a guy who once played a wise guy, now flailing at imaginary enemies like he's shadowboxing with the Constitution.
And then he starts yelling at regular people. He's like, fuck you, you're a gangster. Go fuck you.
Like, it's crazy that that's the guy from Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
You know what also I think? I think those guys have no friends. I think the only friends they have are Hollywood phonies. And so you're in this weird world where everybody you talk to is a phony, and you become a phony, and everyone's a phony, and your grasp on reality is very slippery, and your eyes are going, right? Mm-hmm. So your vision of the world, your actual vision of the world, your ability to read a phone. You ever see old people's text messages? The fucking text on their phone is like as big as my hand.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And so your vision of the world is blurring, literally and figuratively, and then you're getting old, and when old people are tired and cranky, they just want everyone to listen to them, and they don't have time to have a calm conversation. And you state out your opinion, I'll state my opinion. Let's see where we have common ground. Get off my lawn.
And the crowd, they've stopped clapping. They've started laughing. What made this dual roast so effective wasn't just the content, it was the contrast. Rogan's a cage-side comic philosopher with a mic. Kelly's a courtroom tactician with a verbal scalpel. But when the target's this absurd, you don't need chemistry, just eyesight and audio. Rogan clowned the drama. Kelly cut it down. And in the middle of it all, Dyro kept yelling into the void like a substitute history teacher no one listens to. This wasn't an ambush, it was a natural disaster of credibility. When two people from different galaxies roast the same guy, without colluding, you don't need an audience poll. The truth speaks for itself.
Well, it's a global problem because it's the greediness of these studios and some of these actors that, make a lot more money overseas than they would here. But I look at the film industry in the United States, and my father worked in the film industry in Boston. He was a transportation coordinator for the Teamsters Union. So I know a little bit about it. I look at the film industry as we have some of the most creative people in the...
Meanwhile, Rogan's fans are wheezing at his celebrity to Comic-Con comparisons. Kelly's viewers are eating up every line like it's a Supreme Court ruling on vanity. And the takeaway, just because you played Raging Bull doesn't mean you're fit to lead one. The ironies to which this guy built a legacy playing grounded legends. Now he's floating in La La Land, typing in all caps like Congress is on Twitter. It's like watching Gordon Ramsay slap Kraft singles on filet mignon and call it fine dining.
Why is he talking about this? Why is he talking about this publicly?
I'm going to say one thing. Trump.
If you're going to come out and say that you have a really deep-seated hatred for one of the two people running for president, you can't just be, he's a bully, he's a piece of shit, I hate him.
He's an idiot. Colin Powell said it best. He's a national disaster. He's an embarrassment to this country. It makes me so angry that this country has gotten to this point, that this fool, this bozo, has wound up where he has.
You probably, if you're going to express yourself about it and alienate 50% of the country, which it seems like it is, you're going to have to do better.
The one silent message both Rogan and Kelly delivered loud and clear. The public deserves better than a tuxedoed meltdown from a millionaire drowning in his own echo. All that access, all that fame wasted on podium tantrums masked as activism. Bro, you're not leading a movement. You're delivering a monologue to an audience of interns and shrimp cocktails. Real change makers aren't cosplaying politicians on the red carpet. They're too busy doing the work. And that's the problem. Dyro's influence has become noise. At this point, he's less voice of the people and more uncle who just discovered Facebook and won't stop posting.
What about the garbage outside today? Robert De Niro, officially sent by the Biden campaign, makes himself look like an idiot and reminds us why Trump is so popular.
It's so stupid. It was colossally stupid. If you're going to send somebody to go speak outside of the Trump trial, make it someone who's universally beloved, like a Michelle Obama. You know, she's not universally loved. She's not loved on the right. But I'm saying, like, at least within the left and the center left, and maybe even some center righties. Robert De Niro has gone so hard partisan over the past 8 years. He is like example number one of Trump.
It's brutal. It's hilarious. And honestly, it's kind of art. Rogan plays the amused stoner, shaking his head with that we've really come to this vibe. Kelly's the assassin in heels, delivering surgical takedowns with mascara. Intact. They didn't team up. They didn't rehearse, but somehow, both watched Dyro's spiral from cinematic icon to political meme and struck the same chord. The power of the double roast isn't just the zingers, it's the deeper truth. This isn't just about one guy yelling into a mic. It's about an industry that confused fame with credibility and applause with authority. Playing a mob boss doesn't give you a diploma in geopolitics. Screaming about your political enemies, like a guy chasing squirrels off his lawn. Yeah, not your best moment.
De Niro, there's something about being a star where you think your opinion's more important than anybody else's, and you can go give a press conference, and he obviously has been very vocal from 2016 that he hates Trump for whatever reason. Maybe that's a personal thing.
You think Trump ever threw a punch himself or took one? This guy who ran and hid in the White House bunker when there were protesters outside? No way.
Now he's like holding press conferences. Now everyone's heckling him everywhere he goes.
So bad.
Like instead of just being this cranky old liberal, now you're this guy that is yelling at other people that are Trump supporters, and they're yelling at you. Like you've opened yourself up to this nonsense. Like,
this moment, this unplanned, unspoken roast wasn't just a takedown. It was the culture itself rolling its eyes. Like the public finally said, dude, enough. You were in Raging Bull, not The Economist. People are tired. Tired of lectures. From first-class flyers who think hashtags count as diplomacy. Real talk, most folks would rather hear their barber's take on world affairs than another preachy millionaire in a tailored tux. And that's what made this tag team evisceration land so hard. No drama. No hashtags. Just a mirror. And when Dyro looked in, he didn't see a leader. He saw a meme in formal wear, waving at ghost only he could see. Rogan and Kelly didn't cancel him. He marched himself into irrelevance. Cufflinks and all. Once celebrated, now muted like your cranky uncle at Thanksgiving. The coldest truth, the silence. Not critics, not trolls, his own fans are tuning out. And that's the real roast. While he's backstage rehearsing for a standing ovation, no one's giving. The only audience left is there for the spectacle, not the speech. If there's a lesson here, don't turn your Oscar speech into a campaign ad. And if Rogan and Kelly, to people who'd probably argue over how to cook toast, are both roasting you from opposite ends of media world, that's your cue. Because the real performance wasn't Taxi Driver. It was the live televised meltdown of a legend who didn't realize the curtain already fell.